And welcome, disc golf friends, to Par Save Productions Round 2 Front 9 coverage of the 2018 Ledgestone Insurance Open, presented by Discraft. This is a Disc Golf Pro Tour, the number 8th Pro Tour of the 2018 season. This is hole 1 over the water, quite a daunting first hole, 633 feet, par 4. And first on the tee, we have Eric Downing. Eric is a newly minted pro out of Missouri. Joining me today, I am Nate Doss. Joining me today, we have Mitch Privette from Minnesota. How you doing, Mitch?
Hey, how's it going, Nate?
Good to have
Glad
you.
to be here. Yeah, glad to be here. I'm very honored to be
Awesome.
back on Par Save, so excited to see some great golf today.
Definitely. Number 2 on the tee was Nikko Locastro. We did see Nikko on Par Save Productions coverage from round 1, and looks like his was inbounds there. We have the 4-time disc golf world champion Paul McBeth throwing over the kayaks.
Just ripping it.
Yeah, taking the aggressive line there. That was,
Yeah.
what we're going to look for out of Paul McBeth here all day long. He's a great driver of the disc, obviously a great putter as well.
Yeah.
Puts it inside circle too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last but very not least, Kyle Webster on the tee here on hole 1. Kyle's also out of Missouri, just like Eric. Pulling it over to the right, but leaving it in really nice position there on hole 1.
That's pretty much the landing zone that you want. If you play the aggressive line, you'll be up there, but down there is pretty much where you want to be anyways.
Yeah, completely agree with you. We have Eric here throwing his 3rd shot. He was OB. And what the camera doesn't really show is how much elevation there is there.
Oh my gosh, it's so much. Yeah, it's very, with the elevation, the backdrop on the other side, you don't want to go too aggressive though, because that is a pretty good drop off on the backside there. So
absolutely, we can tell.
Yeah.
Kyle's
there you
shot.
go, Kyle. Yeah.
And it does fall off. And we'll see this out of McBeth all day long. He wants every single putt to go in all the time.
I mean, yep.
And Eric missing his putt there. We wonder if Eric is a ambidextrous player. I don't know. That was a left-handed putt, but it looked like he drove right off the tee.
He did.
So.
He did. I think he did drive right. Yeah, I saw that.
So we can see where Kyle ended up. Not too bad. There is a little bit of a backdrop there, but another 5 feet and he would have been completely blocked off. I've been in that position before. Yesterday, Nikko started off by throwing out of bounds and bogeying the first hole. He has a nice look at birdie here. Let's see if he can finish it, which he does nicely. So we are off here on hole 1. McBeth should have an easy birdie look here. This is the 2nd round of a 4-round tournament. And these guys will be looking to shoot hot today to get themselves back in. I think we had a lead of 8 or 10 under after the first round. So these guys are sort of middle of the pack. Let's head over to hole 2. And here we are on hole 2, par 4, 615 feet. Again, drone coverage provided by Airborne. We do want to appreciate them for their drone usage. Kale and his whole team from up there in the Twin Cities. We love you guys. Appreciate the help. This hole is very difficult. Water all down the left side, OB on the right side. Kind of a good way of getting into the round. Get you ready for what to expect there.
Yeah, absolutely. Mitch? Yeah. I mean, you come off of hole 1, starting with hole 1. That's a treacherous one. Oh, unfortunately, no. Looks like he stayed in bounds.
Yeah, we'll see when he gets up to his lie. But yeah, that was.
Yeah. Oh. Just the one branch there.
Yeah, and we could. This is something. If our disc golf friends out there watching, keep an eye on Facebook. They see a lot of the players sort of. It's sort of a love-hate relationship with this course here at Lake Eureka.
I mean, you hit it right on the nail right there. It's definitely a love-hate relationship. It's a great-looking course. It's awesome, well planned out. But the way you play it, it's just super hard, you know.
Absolutely.
But Paul McBeth with a nice forehand gets a nice little roll here towards the basket.
Yeah,
Just outside circle's edge.
Yeah, he is, but that's a tough spot to be there. He's got no
Exactly.
putt almost. He's probably going to have to lay up, although knowing McBeth, he won't. With Nikko throwing his shot up there just on the edge of the second circle there. You know, hole 2 is one of those types of holes that a par is really, really good. And of course, one thing that we talk about in a lot of the Midwestern tournaments and almost every tournament we play is really weather. Kyle taking a bad kick there, but we don't see too bad of a wind here, so these guys should be able to stay aggressive.
Yeah, usually, I mean, every time that I played the course, it had a pretty strong wind or you know, storms rolling in or something like that. So it's different to see, you know, Lake Eureka just with kind of a little bit of wind, you know. So hopefully we see some hot scores today as Eric makes his nice putt there.
Yeah, so we've now seen Paul McBeth go OB twice here on hole 2. The aggressive putt sort of got to him there, and Paul is one of those players that he knows what he's doing. Obviously, 4-time world champion and one of the greatest players we've ever seen. But sometimes the aggressive play can bite you on individual holes here. And Kyle did take a bad kick and ended up OB on hole 2 as well. So we're seeing the teeth of not only the Lake Eureka course as a whole, but hole 2 specifically, and Kyle missing that putt. He will take a double bogey, and tough start for these guys here on hole 2. Nikko played the hole quite nicely, was inbounds off the tee, close, and let's head to 3.
Yeah.
Swirly vultures.
Here we are, hole 3, the first par 3 of the course, 260 feet through the pine trees. A couple different routes. You can go sidearm over the pathway, which is OB, or you can take it right up the middle. We'll see what these guys choose. We do know Nikko did throw the sidearm yesterday, and he's sticking with it.
Yep.
Now he's taking a little bit more of the stable route. There is a slightly S-turn sidearm there that he could take that would get him a little closer to the basket, but he's looking at a birdie. Eric
with a down the middle gap, and that's traditional for the backhand usually.
Yeah, here's Paul doing the same. A little bit on the left side, taking a long kick to the right. I think he'll still be in bounds. The OB is quite far over there. That's the boundary between hole 2 and 3.
Yeah. And, you know, going with that backhand, you know, that's a lot more trees in play, of course. And like you see there, I mean, he hit it and went way right. But,
yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, here we are just inside circle 2 for Paul for his birdie. And just can't, just a little bit short there.
Yep.
Nikko not putting that putt in. He was outside the circle there. I mean, that's not for sure, but I'm sure he would have liked to have it go in. And that's one thing you see from the great putters is that every time they putt, they feel like they want it to go in.
Exactly, yes. Yep. A good putt by Kyle.
Yeah, there we go, Kyle. That's a good par putt there after the missed putt on hole 2.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything we're going to see now is just a cleanup here on hole 3. Yesterday we saw a star frame on this hole, on this coverage, and today we're seeing all 3. So these players are, you can see a little bit, not with so much energy right now, but we'll see if they can't pick that up as we move forward through the coverage. Here we are, hole 4. Guys running across the fairway. Par 3, 423 feet. And now they're running down by the basket. Downhill on the second half of the hole, quite severely. OB on the right, deep woods on the left, which are not OB. Yep. Nikko taking it to the right side. We don't have a look of what that did. That looked like it would be going out of bounds.
It kept on turning there. You just want to have something that comes back after you get over that hilltop, you know.
Yeah, and even though it's 400 feet, we just saw Paul McBeth throw a putter.
Exactly.
That was his, Atlas, I think, and it is one of those holes. If you get it over that hill, now this is looking beautiful.
Oh my, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, look at the little kick out too. Come on.
Oh, and the bad roll back in. Wow.
Geez, Kyle that was a lot of action.
Yeah, and of course, just so the fans at home know, the players have no idea what's happening once the disc is over that hill.
Yeah.
Kyle will find his disc and have no clue that he was bad, then good, then back to bad.
Yeah.
Paul throwing that same shot down. Oh, and he can't. And you can tell how severe that slope is by the way his disc flew there.
Yep.
My guess is that Nikko was in bounds, a little bit lucky yet again, just like we saw in hole 2, staying in bounds, and a nice upshot for him.
Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a long uphill putt here for Kyle. Let's see if we can get it to it. Yeah. Great putt. We're going to have a slow-mo replay of this. Kyle with the straddle, showing a strong stance there. Mostly
fist pump.
Yeah, a little fist pump for Kyle. That's probably the energy that this group needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Paul was buried and had no opportunity to give himself a par, and makes his bogey putt. You know, we don't expect to see this type of play from Paul McBeth all that often. I wish he would play like this more when I was going up against him. But, you know, we always love to see Paul play great. One of our great champions in the history of disc golf, and we will expect him to come back quite nicely as the round moves on. All right, let's move over to hole 5. Kyle has the tee, and he's turning it over, and it's still
safe. Down. Nice.
Yeah, this is one of those types of holes where you can get aggressive. We saw Garrett Kurthy hit the base of the basket, the pedestal that the basket's sitting on yesterday, or you can play it safe like Kyle did. Wow, great shot by Nikko. He'll be
beautiful shot by Nikko. Yeah.
Here's Eric. So Eric is somewhat ambidextrous, as we've seen him throw both hands. Yep. Does he have the distance? And he doesn't. So what we just saw there, folks, is that he did not make it over the baseball field. He's in the baseball field, so we'll see him go to the drop zone. Paul McBeth taking the aggressive line, going inside the...
yeah.
Just like Paul McBeth does. Makes us all excited about what he's doing. Nice shot, Paul. You know, it's something to be said about Eric if this is one of his early pro events, playing with class players like Nikko and Paul. Probably a little bit nervous. You know,
a little bit of nerves, absolutely. Yeah.
Can you remember the first time you played with one of those players? It was probably nervous.
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely. Knee shaking, wobbly putts, you know. Until you start playing a little bit into the game, you know, into the round and stuff, then you start to sink in and get the jitters away, of course. So.
Absolutely. Well, Nikko completing that birdie there. Kyle and Mitch will have, Kyle and Eric will have pars, and Paul McBeth with the CTP drop-in birdie. Yeah, I can remember when I first played with Ken Climo way back when, before most of the internet even existed. No, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But I was very nervous. But you know, it's one of those things that as a player, you want to be there playing with the best players all the time.
Yeah,
Nice
definitely.
birdie by Paul, and we will head over to hole 6.
You know, honestly, they made that hole look really easy.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you. Hole 5 is no easy hole. We do want to thank the Disc Golf Pro Tour for what they do. We are here on hole 6, par 4, 885 feet. We do see the 2 baskets. We will be playing to the basket on the right, the slightly shorter basket today, if I recall properly. And this is a tough hole. This is a hole with OB on both sides. This is more of a position shot, wouldn't you say, Mitch, off the tee?
Yeah, you definitely want to be far left as possible, like Paul did right there. Then you can come in with a nice hyzer shot for your second one for another position, or, you know, if you want to play aggressive, you can get there that way, of course, too.
Yeah, I completely agree with you that, you know, if you are on the left, you're going to give yourself a longer second shot, but it's a more easier first shot. And, you know, if you can be aggressive off the tee, you can make a shorter shot there. But this is really a hole that the guys, the players, from my experience, are playing this hole for a par, and that birdhouse right there is their goal. If they're about 100 feet from the basket there.
Yep.
We can see, oh, there's that birdhouse again. We will see that coming to play quite a bit over the 4 days, because again, that's the safe place to land. We can see that we are playing that right-hand pin. Now Nikko taking the aggressive line, going OB over the whole shot until the very end.
And he just makes it in. Beautiful shot.
Good for Nikko. He needed that. That's going to give him a bit of an extra boost. Of course, we would expect nothing less from Paul, taking the aggressive line, a little bit short, but in bounds.
Yep.
And this is something, you know, again, oh wow. Sit down. I think he's in bounds there, but this is something that, you know, good for Kyle and Eric to have their game plans, playing the hole properly, just like they practiced. Paul with another short putt there. Nikko,
nice. Yeah, nice putt still.
So just remembering what we saw from Nikko yesterday, he's playing much better today. Quite lucky, actually. Interesting to watch this round and see Nikko's play. He's gotten a little bit lucky. Eric missing that par putt there. That was an unfortunate thing for Eric. He hit the top of the basket and went almost 30 feet past.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. I mean, he came in nicely, just didn't drop for him right at the end, you know, but got that unfortunate roll away, and gonna have to tap in now for a bogey.
No, Eric's young, and he's got a long way to go. So anything that's a good learning experience is good for him. We'll head over to the set.
Absolutely. Yep.
Here we are, hole 7, par 3, 275 feet. OB on the left. OB on the right is not a factor. There is OB over there. But Mitch, would you say this is probably the last gimme opportunity on the course?
Yeah. I mean, for a while, I would say. This one, if, you know, after playing, you know, the first 6 holes, you come up to this one and you're like, okay, you know, a little bit more confidence booster if you get it, you know, going in. As Paul just hits the basket.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a confidence booster getting a 2, you know, on the card, getting it. So
yeah, I think for some of these players that aren't near the lead, this might be one of those holes that it is that little bit of confidence boost that they need. And when I say gimme, I don't mean much of a gimme, but it is one of those types of holes that a 2 is gettable and one that you really want to get.
Absolutely, yes.
Strong putt by Kyle, just a little bit high. We're going to see here Nikko with a drop in 2. So 4 under for Nikko through the first 7 holes. That's a great start for him. We might
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, this might be the beginning of a hot round that we see, working his way back into the tournament. Paul still recovering from some of those early penalties and bogeys, but doing nicely there for himself. We'll head to hole 8. Cold Minnesota winter. Par Save Productions still getting out and playing in the snow. Here we are, hole 8, par 4, 793 feet. Probably one of the more difficult holes, although we did see the players yesterday make it seem a little bit easy. But that OB on the left there, that creek on the left does come into play. And off the tee pad, it's about a 450-foot drive, 300 of it being short of the initial creek, and the last 150 being on the other side. Nikko playing a nice shot right up the middle. What do you think about this one, Mitch? This is one of those types of holes where... Wow.
Wow.
I
haven't seen that route.
Yeah, we haven't seen that route be played too much unless there's a big, strong right to left wind. I'm surprised to see Paul play that route. We can see Eric ends up
in his state of mind, I'm sure that he's just taking those trees out of play. He's like, I'm not even messing with those things. So he's got the arm to do it. Absolutely,
Yeah, it's a question that I asked because we saw Garrett Gerthy, nice shot by Kyle there, and Eric did end up OB, so he is at the drop zone. The drop zone is going to be well over 500 feet to the basket, so this is just a position play for him. But yesterday, Mitch, we did see Garrett Gerthy throw one up there to where it was basically a sonic for him into the green, and I know Paul McBeth has that length, so it's quite a surprise to see him throw that. And now look at the length of this shot that he has into the green.
It is, yeah. It is pretty far. And unfortunately going into that creek right next to the hole there.
Yep, and that's if I was Paul's caddy, I would have said, Paul, let's go up the middle, try to get more off the tee, have a shorter shot in. So
yeah, yep.
But Paul knows what he's doing. He doesn't need Nate Doss as his caddy. Nikko ending up safe. He'll be okay there. Nice. It should be an easy pitch for him up to the green for an easy par. He might have a run at it, but with that creek behind the pin, I doubt we'll see that, especially with his good round. But, of course, this is Nikko Locastro, and he goes for everything.
And he is aggressive.
He hits the chains and still rolls out of bounds. Now, what I'd like the fans at home to take a look at, Mitch, here is how severe that slope is. Nikko barely crept over, and he still went into the water.
Yeah, that thing, I mean, as soon as that goes over that hill and you can't see it anymore, it's 9 times out of 10 it's probably in the water. Unfortunately.
Yes, I've been in that water too many times. And good putt by Nikko, although he's upset. Yeah, he's upset with that, but and here we have Kyle. Very nice upshot. And
I mean, made it look easy, but it's definitely a hard hole there.
Here we are, hole 9, the last hole of our coverage here. This is the bridge hole, par 3, 354 feet. It's an island hole, folks. If they don't get onto the island, they have to proceed to the drop zone. One of the clinching holes on this course. Not too hard of a hole, but definitely one of those ones that you're fearful every time you step up to.
Yeah, I mean, getting in the bridge right there, it kind of gets in your head. But you know, for these top pros and stuff, they make it, like, again, they make it look easy, you know.
Yeah, barely a flick of the wrist there for Paul McBeth, and he's parked. We've seen a little bit of two-face from Paul this round. It's either been good or it's been bad. Nikko, let's see what the spotter has to say with his Discraft shirt on there. Nikko's inbounds yet again. Nikko on the edge, but sometimes that's what it takes. Eric actually hit the bridge there, and we'll have to proceed to the drop zone, throwing a inbounds third shot.
Yeah, that's it.
Animated as always. We do want to thank everybody for watching this front nine second round coverage of the 2018 Ledgestone. We do have the back nine coming for you too, so go out there and check that out. These guys have showed us really the good and the bad of the Lake Eureka course. We do have Paul McBeth and Nikko Locastro on this card, so come on back and watch that back nine. But I'm certainly looking forward to it.
Me too, absolutely.
There we go. All right, well, we thank everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah!